Yo, how's it going, homies? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be going over the best ways that you can make the transition from controller to keyboard and mouse. This guide is going to be mainly for beginners just getting started out, but if this video does get 1,000 likes, I will make a part 2 and talk about some more advanced stuff. Now, for those of you who do not know, I was previously a PS4 Apex player since day one. I made the switch to PC in June of 2019, but I still continue to play controller up until April of 2020. And that is when I made the decision to switch over to mouse and key, and I've been playing it ever since. So before we get into it, I also want to emphasize that personal preference and comfortability are two of the most important things when you're first making the switch. So I would definitely recommend working on your own settings and building what is the best for you instead of just copying someone else's. Although copying somebody's settings may work for you, it may not be what's best for you because everyone is different. So with all that said, let's get right into it. So to start off, we're going to be going over your keyboard and mouse settings. Starting off with mouse sensitivity. This is mainly personal preference. You're basically just changing what part of your hand or your arm you're using to aim. But for a beginner, I would definitely recommend starting out on a lower sensitivity. Main reason is because it's going to be a lot easier for you to control. And I think personally, you're going to develop a better mouse control when you have to actually use more of your mouse pad and more of your arm to actually aim. Also, your mouse sensitivity is going to be drastically different based off of what DPI setting you have on your mouse. The biggest difference that your DPI setting is going to have in game is basically just how fast your cursor moves around while you're in death boxes and in the menu. Most professional players play either 400 or 800 DPI, so that's what I would recommend starting out at. Also, you cannot change your DPI settings from within Apex Legends, so make sure you research your mouse to figure out how to change your DPI settings. Most mouse companies actually have programs you can download to your PC to change all that, so definitely look for something like that. The last mouse setting we're going to be going over is actually within Windows. You want to go down to the search bar and type in mouse settings. Go to additional mouse options. Once you're here, go to pointer options and make sure enhanced pointer precision is turned off. Make sure that is not checked. Now, once you change that, just hit apply, OK, and exit out. Basically, enhanced pointer precision is mouse acceleration. So when you're whipping your mouse around, it's going to be inconsistent every time, and you definitely do not want that. Some people actually play with that on, but I definitely would not recommend it. Now, these are the sensitivities that I would recommend you start out at. But once again, it all is just personal preference. But I want to throw this out here for people who have no idea where to start. Next thing we're going to get into is keybinds. Now, these are all just personal preference. I know it looks like it's a lot going on, but I would recommend just starting out with the default binds and adjusting them as you need to. I spent my first 2 weeks on mouse and keyboard just messing with my keybinds, literally changing them up all the time until I found something that was good for me. And I literally have not touched my keybinds since the second week. So it's really about just finding something you're comfortable with and grinding it out. The one keybind I would definitely recommend you use is your mouse scroll wheel on jump. This allows you to b-hop at ease and also do the zipline launch that you see a lot of the top players doing. And this is what that looks like. What triggers this is interacting and sending multiple jump inputs at the same time, which is really easy when you scroll wheel because you're sending 3 to 4 jump inputs instantly. Alright, the next thing we're going to go over is your keyboard placement and also your finger placement on the keyboard. Now, what I first did when I first switched is I found a comfortable spot for my arm to rest on my desk. Wherever that may be, once you find it, just take the keyboard and lay it right there. Just like that, simple as that. You'll see a lot of people with their like keyboard literally like straight up and down or like actually straight, and it all comes down to just comfortability and whatever's the most comfortable for you. All right, the next thing is your finger placement on the keyboard. The most standard and what 99% of players do is WASD movement keys. So your middle finger is going to go on W, your pointer on D, and your ring finger on A. And you're going to use your middle finger for both forward and backward, which is W and S. And the way I have my keybind set up is I use my entire bottom row here with my thumb, and also have my thumb resting on spacebar. And I don't go past T and F with my pointer finger. If you got really long fingers and you want to use more of your keyboard, go for it, but that's about as far as I'll go. Your pinky should usually just stay on shift and control. I don't use anything else. And also, my ring finger never leaves W. It literally only presses W and S and rests there the entire time, no matter what other buttons I'm pressing. So I have 1 and 2 for my weapons and 3 for my fist. So I'm constantly just going like this, back and forth. Some people think it is harder to press 1 or 2, which it could be. It was definitely awkward for me at first, but I've gotten used to it. Also, another thing that was pretty awkward for me in the beginning was pressing Z and X. I use Z with my ring finger and X with my pointer finger. So just know that it's definitely awkward for everyone in the beginning, and it definitely can be frustrating at times. But if you're patient and you put in the consistent work, you'll definitely get it down super fast. The next thing we're going to get into is mouse control. Now, how you hold your mouse really just depends on the shape of it and the weight of it, so I'm not really going to get into much detail on that. Basically, just hold it how you feel most comfortable. One thing I will mention though is to be relaxed. One thing in the beginning that I struggled with is I gripped my mouse too hard, and I was flexing almost my entire arm in intense situations, and that really hurt my reaction time, because when you're relaxed and you're smooth, your aim is going to be a lot better. It definitely can be really hard to stay relaxed in clutch situations where you just want to tense up, but really focused on just being relaxed and smooth, and it'll help your aim a lot. All right, the next thing I want to go over is your mouse positioning on your desk. You should really just have a center point where you feel most comfortable and work from there, but always focus on recentering back to that point. You don't want to be drifting off over here and just keep aiming, because eventually you're just going to run out of mouse space. You just want to consistently go right back to that center point. But you obviously don't want to do this while you're still shooting, or it's going to throw off your aim a lot. Take the opportunity to do it mid-reload, or if you actually do run out of mouse space and you have to recenter, then take that opportunity. Now, the next thing I want to go over is having your mouse and keyboard completely synchronized while aiming. And what I mean by that is when you strafe left or right, to have your mouse instantly react to that movement on your keyboard. This was one of the hardest things for me to learn when I first switched from controller, because aim assist does a lot of this for you. On controller, when you strafe left or right while aiming, your aim will actually pull back towards the enemy like this. So it's a lot tougher on mouse and keyboard to get that synchronized. And I think the best way to practice this is to go to the firing range and aim at one of these targets and just strafe back and forth. But don't just do the same strafes, switch it up. Short strafes, long strafes. The goal of this is to get your mouse and keyboard synchronized so that your mouse is instantly reacting to what your keyboard is doing. Alright, that is going to be the end of this video. I appreciate y'all watching. If you guys do want a part 2, let me know down in the comments, where I'll go more in depth about some aim trainers that I've used and also some more advanced in-game mechanics. So I hope this video helped you out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.